over on the left side of step 3, I have a field list, and these are all of the AccuZIP6 default field names. You can add to this field list if you like. You can remove some fields, although I don't recommend removing any default AccuZIP6 fields. But you can add to it. You may have fields from lists from your customers, or that you're going to bring in just for your own use, that has some fields that are not in the list of AccuZIP default field names. You can add those, and I'll show you how in another video. But for right now, we're going to work with this field list. The key fields of AccuZIP6 are going to be the fields that you print, the fields that are used in validation, CAS certification, and pre-sorting. Also, if you subscribe to the NCOA link service, there's going to be some important fields there as well. For NCOA specifically, NCOA needs to know where your name information is. Now, in the input file data section, the input file data is divided into 2 columns. The first column here, where you see fields 1 through 4, those are your field names that you're going to be assigning to your data. And the second column is the first record of your database. If I click on this right arrow button, this will allow me to advance from record to record in your file. I can hit this double arrow here to advance another 5 records. The purpose of doing this is to, if you don't know what's in each field based on the field names that you see at record 1, or if your first record isn't a header record, if it's not a record of field names, then you can use these arrows to figure out where your name information is, where your company and address information is, and so forth. To assign a field name to your data, first I see that by clicking on field 1 here, where it shows first. If I hit the right arrow button, I can tell that for the most part I've got names in this field. So I'm going to click on field 1, and it's highlighted. Over in the field list, I'm going to find the matching field, and in this case, that field is called first. Whenever you have the entire name in one field, assign the field called first to that name. NCOA link is going to look in the field called first, or the fields called first and last, for your name information. Naturally, if your name fields are in a first name field and a last name field, you'll want to assign the fields called first and last to those 2 fields. But in this case, the name is all in one field, so at field 1, I'm going to click on first. I can either double click on first, or I can click on the hand pointing to the right, and that just took away field 1 and replaced it with the word first. Now, after I hit the import button, the field name first will be assigned to this name field. The second field is a company name field, so I've got field 2 highlighted here. Now I'll come down to company. I'll either double click on company or hit the hand pointing to the right. Now I've associated company with this company name field. Here I've got my address, so I'll double click on address. And then here I've got what looks like the city and zip, or the city and state, or the city, state, and zip. I'm going to assign the field called city to the city, state, and zip field. If your file has city names in the city, in a city field, you've got states in another field, zip codes in another field, assign the fields called city, ST for the state, zip for the zip codes. So once you have your important fields assigned, you're ready to import. Now another way of doing this is to check the use header box, and I'll go all the way back to record 1 here. I'll reset this with this firecracker or dynamite stick button. I'll check use header. Use header copies the first record's data, which hopefully in this case is field names. It copies these and makes them field names. In this case, it did it perfectly fine. But if the checking the use header did not assign one of my important fields, one of the name fields or the address fields correctly, then after checking use header, I would want to manually assign whatever field it missed to this data. So make sure you assign the field called first, or the fields first and last. Assign company. if you have company names, assign address, address to if you have an address to field, city, and then ST and zip if you have those fields as well. And then once you've got all your fields assigned, you have an option here of saving in the import map. And the import map is going to be helpful if you're going to be dealing with a lot of these types of files that have the same structure of fields in the same order. You can save an import map, and by saving the map, instead of manually assigning fields or doing a combination of using the header and manually assigning fields, you can select an import map, and that will automatically assign your saved set of fields in the order that they were chosen. The next step is going to be to hit the import button, and that will open your list in AccuZIP6, and I'll do that now. In this case, I've already got a file called demo file, so it's asking me to replace it. I'll just hit yes here. And now I see my data. I can double click on this square to the left of the field names. Here you can see that I have my names in the field called first. I have company names in company. I also have addresses in the field called address. Here's my field names right up here. And I have my city, state, and zip information in the field called city. So the file imported successfully. This file is ready for validation. And we'll get to validation in another video.